Another country in Asia where modern slavery is prevalent is China. In 2016, there were more than 3.8 million people in China living under conditions of modern slavery. In the same year, the Chinese government investigated 1,004 cases of human trafficking, 45 of which involved forced labor, and they arrested over 2,000 suspects, some of which were involved in labor trafficking of disabled people. One way in which modern slavery is taking place in China is through state-imposed forced labor. China is the world's second-largest importer and has the second-largest economy. The majority of China's economic development is a result of a domestic economy that produces cheap and labor-extensive goods for export. Forced labor often takes place in the production of these goods, especially in the manufacturing, construction, and brick kiln sectors. In 2016, several cases of forced child labor were discovered in a closed factory where underage workers were forced to work overtime, were beaten if they refused, and had their phones and passports confiscated if any attempts to escape were made. In 2013, the Chinese government announced that they will abolish the re-education through labor system, a system where inmates were held and subject to forced labor for around 4 years. However, a report from the U.S.-China Economic and Security Review Commission claimed that China still has a network of detention facilities where state-imposed forced labor continues to occur. Another form of modern slavery in China is forced sexual exploitation. Due to some cultural traditions and the gender imbalance in China, a large demand of brides for Chinese men is created. Traffickers often use fraudulent job opportunities to lure foreign women to come to China, usually from neighboring countries such as North Korea and Vietnam. In some cases, traffickers drug, coerce, or kidnap women. Every year, large numbers of foreign women come to China with people facilitating their travel with the intention of either selling them against their will to Chinese households or forcing them into sex work. The United Nations reported several cases of North Korean women who were trafficked into marriages in China where they were subject to sexual exploitation by the husbands or other male family members. Additionally, Chinese children, including those under the care of relatives in their rural hometowns and from neighboring countries such as Vietnam and Russia, are also trafficked into sexual exploitation and marriage. One of the most common sectors where slavery occurs in China today is in brick kilns. In 2007, it became publicly known that numerous residents of rural areas in China, such as children, adults, seniors, and disabled people, were being kidnapped and forced to work in kilns. The affair was uncovered by parents who would come together to search for the missing children, who found them working in kilns in the countryside. The Chinese media started to cover this topic on how local communities and authorities knew about the slavery taking place and were sometimes even directly involved. The government eventually launched an investigation into almost 5,000 brick kilns and on hundreds of rescued enslaved workers who spoke out about the abductions, captivity, beatings, and inhumane conditions. Within the following years, similar cases of enslavement in kilns was documented in many other provinces of China. However, the practice of forced labor in brick kilns has yet to be fully eradicated.